Vape AM, the Phobia RDA. We're gonna review it today, and it's gonna be a great Saturday. Yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. You are watching Vape AM, the morning show. I'm here high in orbit above Seattle, Washington this morning, and we're going to show you the Vandy Vape Phobia RDA. There it is on my desk, just glancing. Whoop. And this thing is okay. Long story short, this thing is inexpensive and mediocre and kind of messy and completely unsuitable for squonking. But we're going to get into all the details and open it up and everything right here. First of all, good morning to you. Thank you very much. I hope you guys all have a cup of tea or coffee, whatever. I got to have caffeine this early in the morning. And right now I'm actually vaping because we're doing this review on my iJoy Capo 216 and my Cali RDA by QP Designs, which I love this thing. I don't know how many of you guys have seen our review of the QP Designs Cali, but it is pretty darn cool and it's on YouTube and you can link to it. Let me see, what else have we done lately? Last night I did an unboxing of the Blade 21700 mod from Wismac, which I have right here. And that is just the last video on the channel that we saw. And we also did a review of, what is it right here? The Maze, terrible disaster on that thing. And I did a really cool video that showed what the difference between a good RDA and a bad RDA is. And it is good versus bad, the Cali versus the Mad Dog V2. So that's a really cool video. Check that out too. So how are you guys doing? Thank you guys for coming in. Hey, Tony. Hey, Weird Will. Hey, Dustin Vapor, Jason Kennedy, David Harms, Michaela, Todd Wester. Great to see you. Jason Kennedy. I already said that. David Dixon and everybody else. I'll get lost in the list if I keep looking through it, but thank you guys so much. I love all y'all for showing up. Look at that. The Maze. I'm sorry. Look at that. The Phobia RDA. The Phobia. Let me change this so that I can adjust the focus. I forgot to get the box up, but no big deal. I'm going to do this manually, of course. That's the way to go. There it is. Let me get it up closer. You guys can see. Wish this thing had a better piece of software for the slider. It's really terrible. Tiny thing you have to grab. There you go. So that's the Phobia from Alex Vapers. We're going to do a little unboxing action here. I've already built on this thing, vaped on it for quite a bit. Done a whole bunch of builds on it. And from Vapers, Maryland. Phobia RDA, learn more about our products. Vandy Vape has kind of got the shotgun approach these days for products. Just anybody who wants to put their name on something, they'll come out with some new variant of RDAs. I frankly am not always sure what the purpose is. They're pretty hit or miss. The Pulse was pretty amazing, and a lot of the rest of them are pretty bad. Now, I wrote this on here, and here's a tip I've got for you guys. When you get a bag out of one of these things, write the name of the RDA on it, keep the bag. You can put all of the bags into one of these, organized. That way, when you need parts for your RDAs or whatever, you've always got them right there. That's just one of my little pro tips. Let's look to see what the kit's got. We're going to change this out for the Squonk pin so I can show you guys what a terrible fail this is at squonking. This thing is pretty good flavor, but it is an okay when you're dripping, but do not squonk, and I'll show you why. So here is the Squonk pin. We're going to set that aside and install it. It came with Phillips head screws in there, and I replaced them with the grub screws. So that's a really nice touch. It comes with them both, and I really appreciate that. Let's get a lot closer look. Hey, Corey Rosen, it's great to see you. Get a lot closer look. So the little grubs are Phillips head, and it came with grubs. So I really appreciate that. That's a nice thing. It's got extra O-rings, little blue screwdriver, Squonk pin, 810 to 510 adapter right there. So I shall just put these back in here. So the kit's okay. And I want to make a complaint though. They don't include any tool that's suitable for installing the 510 on this, and you'll see. So this is a little blue screwdriver, and they have a 2mm Allen key. And when we go to do the Squonk pin ourselves, I'm going to take the screwdriver, take that out. First of all, let's do a little tour. Serial number, the bottom. There's the side airflow. That's part of the disaster of this deck, is the airflow is horrible. Air goes in the sides here. There's only a single O-ring, and then it comes out this Rube Goldberg contraption. I don't understand why they had to have this Rube Goldberg contraption to move the air, because all that does is leak liquid from this hole out these. That's all this thing does. And if you squonk, it's terrible. And if you don't squonk, it's tolerable. It has a cool little thing there where the e-liquid comes out of the squonk. That is kind of groovy. We're going to get way the heck up inside there. So the e-liquid, when we squonk, comes up out of there. And it's got really good quality grubs and fasteners. And I mean, this is all good. But let me show you guys something. Here's the maze. You guys see how similar this is to the maze? The only difference between this and the maze is that the maze doesn't have a ridiculous Rube Goldberg contraption for air. The maze is pretty much perfect. And this would be too if they just took those posts in the airflow out, all that stuff out, and put double O-rings. Oh, but then it would be a maze. It would literally be a clone, because you see it's got a swimming pool. And the maze gets around the problem of the off-sided thing there, because the maze just raises the squonk pin above the surface of the bottom. Same difference. And it's perfectly flat on the bottom, so there's no contour. So personally, I don't think you need any of this business. Oh, I'm sorry, I said maze. I'm saying Cali. Let me start over. It's the Cali. The Cali. This thing looks just like the Cali, not the maze, the Cali. I don't know why I said maze. Thank you so much, Brady, for correcting me. This thing looks just like the Cali, and the Cali is pretty much perfect. Thanks, Rich. You too. You guys are the greatest. I love having a live audience because you guys catch me when it's early. That's right. So for reference, I meant the maze there, not the I meant the Cali there, not the terrible maze. See there, I did it again. So for some reason today, I'm transposing those two things. Remember that I mean the wonderful Cali, my favorite RDA. So isn't that interesting that the Cali is like this, and the Cali is unpretentious. The Cali chooses not to make a mess. So they have double O-rings and this thing, and then you can grab it by the side. And this one, I think, would be perfect if they just made it like the Cali, but then it would just be the Cali. So anyway, the deck is pretty cool, though. It looks nice. It's easy to build on. The airflow is an absolute disaster there. We're going to zoom back out a little bit here. The airflow is a little bit of a, not a little bit, but a lot of a disaster. All right, so I'm going to take this out. And pull it out. And look, this made me so angry. You guys see that as a flathead? This is so bad. Vandy Vape, you need to change this immediately because it makes it lame. You see how that's a flathead thing? You see how marred it is? The regular flatheads we use don't work because they made that too thick there. First of all, that's a leak magnet. But the second thing is that it's really hard. So I had to go to my toolbox, y'all, and I had to get another screwdriver, my Craftsman screwdriver, number 41589, 1/8 inch. And I had to put the coarsest screwdriver I could get in there or it wouldn't work. That's so irritating. So they don't include any tool suitable. And I, a vaping professional, has been doing this for years and has a good kit with almost every tool I need, had to go back to my tool kit to get this. So that's going to be irritating, I think, to almost everybody. It is cool, though, let me point out that the 510 is adjustable. So they did include an adjustable 510. For those of you who run mechs, that's nice. We are going to stick this right back in there. And I think this uses the 2mm. I like the relative size of the Squonk hole. It's not too, it's a little bit too small, but it's not terrible. We're going to screw her in. You know, I love postless decks, so I'm pro this on principle. Pressing down with my finger. There we go. Oh, Dustin just got a B2K. That's so killer. Did you get the gold deck or the regular one? Okay, I'm tightening that down pretty tight. And so, like I said, flaws here, single Single O-ring here, way insufficient. Airflow underneath here is just a leak magnet right there. There's no provision whatsoever for preventing any e-liquid getting into this. Because when you're squonking, here's a myth. The myth of squonking is that you squonk and the juice is picked up by the cotton, and the cotton, it travels slowly from the bottom up to the top. That's not how it works. What happens is you squonk up to the bottom of the coil and the cotton absorbs it. Watch, when you squonk, it fills the swimming pool. And you try to get it to absorb it, then you push, and then you hold it and stop and pull back. That's squonking. And the reason it's nice to have a big hole in the middle, like it is with this Cali, is that it sucks back quickly. So they've done a little mismatch there. So let's put this thing on a mod. Like, I'll put it on the blade for now. And we're going to build on it. Now, don't think I'm just going to complain about this thing, by the way, because there are some good things about this. And so don't think I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater. These things aren't expensive. And you don't get a medal for putting your name on an atomizer nobody needs. But there's a number of things about this thing that are just kind of wonky and weird. But it does do okay. So we've looked at the deck. Let me show you guys the two caps. It comes with a manual, which is fairly useless. And two caps. I like the idea of them sending two caps, but it doesn't seem particularly necessary. I'm not sure why they didn't just give us this cap with two tops. But so what it's got is, it's got an 810 adapted cap right here with the cool logo, an 810 thing, and a kind of annoying inconsistency. You see how that engraving is kind of off? Like no more is cut off in the bottom here, and then it raises up. And then it goes back down. So that's off center. Bad job, Vandy Vape. But it's cool. It says no fear, no more fears, no more phobias. I like that. And I'm sure Alex Vapes is disappointed that that's off center. I'm sure Vandy Vapes is too. They're apart. It's got a logo on there that looks kind of samey, but I like it. And it's got the correct kind of top, the inside curved top to the flush 810. And let me tell you, this thing has good flavor. Comes with a friction fed 810, has an O-ring on the inside. I think most of us prefer these days. It's pretty short. That's a 6mm. And the other cap, which is the one I prefer, is an Ultim top, completely curved up to the top. And then a total height that's a little higher and all made of a little bit more heat resistant thing. It's good though. They're both good. And the same kind of thing, curved, smooth to the top. And then that's as much of a bezel as it has for the whole thing, and only on two sides. And so you'll see why this thing is an unholy mess. Even when you're dripping, this thing is an unholy mess. You will see. But the flavor is very excellent, I say. I'm going to get this focus back down there where it belongs. I need a focus button that's like big. Okay. I'm going to light up a little bit. So the cool thing is here, I picked some no frills, decent coils. These are nichrome quad core 28s with 40 wrap around them. And all we're going to do is cut them to a specific size. When I do it, here's what you do, guys. You get the size right once, and then you take the last coil and you cut it to a template. So as you can see here, here's my last coil. All I have to do is cut this to the template of my last coil. So what I'll do is I'll put this on here as the first one. Grab my clippers. Oh my God, I'm going to hold this left-handed, so forgive me. This is the postless revolution. It's just easy. It's easy. And always put your finger on these things to avoid flying. Trust me. Trust me on that, Johnny. There's one. I could have lined those up and done them both at the same time, but I didn't do that. I'm not that cool. You can eyeball it too. It's not going to kill you. The only reason I have the confidence to do this way is that I've done this a few times here. More than a few times. And you just get used to it. So to me, that's the easy way. because you just get to know whether you like them. And I know where I like them. The coils are going to be, I like them right there next to the airflow. They certainly go in easily enough. It's absolutely crazy. The grub screws work great. All the building on this, top scores in the building, no question. I mean, the Casaa RDA is my favorite RDA, and this build's exactly like the Casaa. It's easy, 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 easy. So no one's going to complain about that. Got single coil options, dual coil options. You could easily put a single in there and just throw it in the middle. I pulled this diagonally up, so it's close, but kitty cornered. Hey, Carp Paper TV. Yeah, and he's talking about the coily tool. The UK got a bunch of those things. It's a cool 3D printed object. That's a rectangle of 3D print, and if you turn it on its side, it's thin here and thick here, and the top tells you how thick, and you can put coils in it and just chop them off. That is very handy. I wish I had one. But that's the exact same principle, eh? This is like you just get one coil and you know how long it should be. That's another thing we could do. I'll measure this and tell you what coil I use. You could use longer or shorter, obviously. You know, you're a free vapor who can do what you want. So a quick station identification. Hi, I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. I'm high in orbit above Seattle, Washington, reviewing the Phobia RDA by Vandy Vape today. I hope you have a cup of coffee. This show is called Vape AM, and we operate on the love and support of all the viewers like you. So any of you guys who ever want to donate any money to this thing, all the money that we get, it's donated through the affiliate links and through PayPal.to/Juicy Jones and through the link in the YouTube super chat goes directly towards lights and coils and juice and all that kind of stuff. So to bring you the message of trying to build a community, trying to get to the facts and science of vape, and trying to help people quit smoking. That's what we do. And I welcome everybody in the audience here. Thanks. There we go. I had a chance to have a little sip of coffee. I hope you did too. I'm going to have a vape. And what was I saying? Oh, yeah, we're going to measure our coil. I'll just get up my micrometer. For those of you who are thinking about getting one of these, I'll tell you how long the coil I used is. Now, remember, like I said, you can use any coil length you want. You could go a little bit longer and move them closer to the middle if you want. You couldn't make them shorter. But you can make them even longer and do a single in the middle. So don't feel like this is a rule. This is just a guide. From the top of the coil to the snip is approximately 9 millimeters. 8.75 to 9 millimeters. So 9 millimeters is a good round number. You can always trim a little bit off that if they're too tall for you. Cool. Nice to have real numbers to work on. Michaela, you can search in the Discord chat for coily tool. I think in vape porn, somebody posted them. So here we are. I'm just pulling that out diagonally from the airflow so that they're going to be about the same height and relatively close together. This time I'm moving these things closer together than I usually do. Well, that's not true. The way I should phrase that is that I've sort of started moving these things closer because it works better the further they are from the airflow, because this thing is an unholy mess. They still leak like crazy, but it's slightly better. The thing is, here's the thing that Vandy Vape doesn't get with this, or maybe Alex Vape. I don't want to insult Alex Vape from Maryland, but the airflow being that close to this doesn't matter that much. This is some of the best flavor, and look, that's just a big swimming pool inside there. And that's how far the coils are away from my vape. And wow, let me tell you, this is, like I said, favorite of all my RDAs. And this design is the same, so you had the right idea, buddy. That's what I'm saying, is that you had the right idea, but get rid of these posts and buy a Casaa. Or just have them redo this like the Casaa. I mean, Vandy Vape is shameless. You know how shameless they are? But I would just get a Casaa. But I give you props for stealing the correct design. Postless swimming pool. All right, so I'm tightening this up real tight. This time we're going to do something that we usually forget to do, and that is we're going to pulse the coils. Straightening them out. As always, we're going to be using Texas Tough here in a second. Oh, look, we're at 0.08. That is kind of where I wanted to be. It says 0.07 now. This thing, by the way, some people ask me, will fire to 0.05. 0.05. 2,700 batteries in there right now. Hey, Juicy Reviews. Hey, Ed Moore. Brady, just put a Discord link in here too, will you? So that's up a little bit high. I'm going to put it back down to about 50. I had it on whatever it was before. I was vaping at about 80 watts. Not too even, but look, they're not too bad. We're just going to give it a little bit of the old 1-2, a little bit of the business, I like to call it, the business. Hope you guys are all having a great morning. We certainly are here at Orbital Vaping Headquarters. I'm Juicy Jones. This is Juicy Jones HQ. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Juicy Jones HQ. Those are firing fine, right? This one over here is just starting to even out. Thanks a lot, Brady. Brady, I'll have to teach you how to use the same link over and over instead of making new ones. But that is fantastic. I appreciate it. Hey, motorhoming vaping guy. It's great to see you. All right, there's that. I'm just giving him a last tighten. Remember, always tighten your grubs 3 or 4 times. Don't overdo it and break your tools, but you got to make sure these are tight. Man, that is getting hot down there. We're just giving that 1 second to cool off a little bit. Then we're going to wick it. Just takes a second, maybe 60 seconds. Time enough for a vape and a cup of coffee. Question from the audience. Juicy Reviews asks, is that bottom airflow? Yes, and it is so messy beyond belief. You can check out the replay for the very beginning, but there was a super close-up and everything. And yeah, it's an absolute mess fest. Never squonk on this. We're about to squonk on it, and it's going to be absolutely terrible. So let's go back to the desk, in fact, and I'll take this off. Actually, I don't know if my squonk will fire 0.05. We're going to find out. I doubt it. Oops. Another thing I like about the Cali is that you can get it off because it has 2 flat sides. The Cali also doesn't leak. See that? That's dry. I've been squonking on this for like a day. Cali doesn't leak. Misty, it's downside's weepy like all of them. Okay, here we go. Hope this register is higher now. Ah, now it's at 0.12. That's where it should be. Okay. Pretty good. Oh, it's a little bit uneven there. Gonna blaze them. Blaze them. One last time. All right, pretty good. All right, motorhoming vaping guy. It's okay. I had a grumpy morning too. I lashed out at a juice vendor who tried to get self-righteous about me trying to get them to pay me for my time to do reviews for them, and I was like, I'm worth this. It's so insulting. And they gave me the same old story about how, no, we're too good, we're different. I've heard this hundreds of times, we're different. I tell you, it's amazing in the vape industry how people refuse to go take a basic economics or business class. They want to live in an idealistic world of homebrew and, barter and 70s trade or whatever. But I mean, people who do work, you're not buying reviews, you're buying time, the time it takes. And it's insulting to the little guy. These little guys trying to make it, it's insulting not to pay their time. They have second jobs. They're trying to make it work. They have a dream of being on YouTube or being an influencer or whatever. And then, you string them along with, you act like free gear and juice is what the point is. And that's not it. The message to the people is the point. The message to you, the quitting smoking, creating community, finding out about how not to be swindled. That's what matters. So creating that content is what I do on Orbital Vaping Headquarters. I make video content for YouTube that's vape oriented. That's a job I do. So the affiliate links that we use and all of the sponsorships, like for example, Van Gogh, they don't pay me money, but what they do is they give me an affiliate link like everybody else. And so they pay me a percentage of the stuff that you buy using my code, and they send enough juice so that I can test all this gear and not have to buy the juice myself. And that's, we have that agreement. Great. And it's a business thing. It isn't just hope. They believe in me. We have an agreement. So anyway, the vape industry has two kinds of people in it. Three kinds of people, really. The ones who are in good faith and doing things professionally, the people who are complete amateurs, and the people who are evil and trying to take advantage of people. Plenty of that. Right. That looks pretty good to me. We're going to put that down in the swimming pool. Swimming pool is such a good technique or a good design for these things because really it just has to fill up inside there, then it starts working. I'm going to take the flat tool, get it on in there. Flat tool, flat tool. The other nice thing is that the swimming pool design allows you to sort of have your entire deck share the same wicking reservoir easily. I really like that. So I'm just making a scoop underneath. So the longest parts of that cotton will touch each other, just tickle that Squonk pin. And the shortest parts are just here on the top. Like I got to pull that through a little bit. Actually, I think I made this one maybe a little bit too short. Yeah, I did. No big deal. No big deal. Sometimes you find out right in the middle of what you're doing that you're like, oh, I put a little too little in. I cut off a little bit too much. Happens all the time. Don't sweat it. Just do it again. That's what we do. Remember, we're a community here. We're here to help people quit smoking. We're here to help people avoid getting swindled, really. Find out how scientifically vape works. Remember, help people quit smoking. Most important. If you have friends who smoke, have them look us up. We'll help them. We can help them try to find kits. Make recommendations on juice. That's too long, fool. Yeah, the point of all this is not to collect gear. I personally find it kind of overwhelming. Because you guys know how I do my reviews. I'm just practical. I mean, if something isn't good and useful in an everyday way, I really have no use for it. If it's just another product just to be another product, I'm really bored. Especially when they claim innovation. I can see it a mile away that it's not true. But that's why I love you, my vape. You guys always know. We're all in this together. Let's see. And this is my U-turn technique here, which is just laziness. And I'll show you guys how the squonking on this is just a disaster. Oh my God. All we're doing is going a little bit longer on the wicks than I did last time. And part of the reason is that it's a disaster. This will at least mitigate it a little bit. You can't really fix this problem is the thing, because the airflow is as the airflow is. And the airflow is all wrong. Under scooping. I like the flat dental tool, and I like the pointy one with the little triangle on the end. You guys have seen me use those. Okay. Or, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. I'll wait till I do the other side and I'll zoom in. Oh, yeah. I'm such a trimmer. I'm like a barber on my coils. Sorry, or on my wicks. Sorry, just a force of habit. It's because it's really important just to get it right once, especially when I'm trying to show other people. And also, it's just a relaxing Saturday morning thing to do. I just enjoy this. I actually enjoy this more than building. Oh, I know that's silly. But I'm sitting here with you, my YouTube channel, having a cup of coffee, chatting about quitting smoking and vape topics. There we go. There is some build. Let's get a close-up of where we're at. And that's exactly where I wanted it to be. The cotton on the bottom, the ends are just touching. That's it. They're not overlapping. They're just touching. And they're touching that little thingamajiggy that's covering up the squonk hole. Get that. It's a little further back. Now we'll get to the squonking. And that's it. Look, do you see how it immediately went into the air hole? It just immediately went into the air. It does that. Oh, it went into both holes too. This is the worst squonk airflow. Oh, it didn't go in the second one that time, just the bottom air. Watch when we're done. This is International Delights Vandy Vape's New York cheesecake that I'm vaping in here, by the way. Let me just prime this because there's no point in waiting on it. Since I put the coils in the middle, it's going to be slightly better. But what you're going to see is that this is all because of squonking. I'm just going to poke at it with this. There's a little corner in the swimming pool that doesn't need to be. But it's fine. Shape of the deck. Okay. And I did that myself. Okay, so check this out. Now it's on. It's on. We're squonking. Now it's good. Let's take a vape. We'll go back up top. Oh, and look, it's already leaking out like crazy. Like it's just absolutely freaking pouring out of the airflow. And that's what it does. Look, other side too. When I went to clean up that side, it poured out the other side. This is the worst squonk because they put that Rube Goldberg device. You don't need this airflow. Again, see the Cali. This is an absolute leak magnet. Single O-ring, bottom air. Those airflow things have no cover over them and they're right there on the thing. I mean, you can like cover up the airflow with cotton and stuff, but why? So it's like crazy. It's Juicy Jones. I'm Juicy Jones. This is Juicy Jones HQ, Orbital Vaping Headquarters. This is the review of the Phobia. So to me, this thing is an absolute complete mess. Squonking. But as you'll see, I want to be fair. The flavor is great. Good flavor. If you're dripping in this, it's fine. Dripping is also messy, but I'll tell you, dripping, wrong button. Even when you're dripping, every time you go to unscrew it, these holes, in fact, right now it doesn't want to unscrew. When you spin it, the holes just spew e-liquid. Like just now, it went on my jacket and it went over here on the light. It just spews it out there. And then look at the mess underneath. Look at that. I mean, I barely squonked. I can squonk the shit. That's what happens if you over drip too, but you'll never over drip as much as you over squonk. So unless you're like staring down at it, being super careful, this thing is a mess. And like I said, that's only with squonking. With dripping, it's really much better, but the flavor is good. Yeah, I can't complain about the flavor too much. So overall, I'm not a big fan of this thing. I'd say it needs a V2, or actually it doesn't need to exist. Get rid of the Rube Goldberg airflow. It doesn't have to exist at all. The Cali is the design. It's exactly the same as this, but it has proven that it's amazing, and it doesn't have those posts. Doesn't need them. Bottom airflow is not intrinsically bad. It can be done well. It's just that this doesn't do it well. A lot of you guys have in Discord said many times all kinds of atomizers that you like their bottom airflow. We were talking about the other day, the Kennedy. I like the AIM 9. I have a review of the AIM 9. So to me, this is just a big miss from Vandy Vape, and I'm sorry, hate to say it, but bypass this one. It's also wobbly. That's really wobbly. And the single airflow, the single O-ring, this simply does not cut it. If you really love this design, then the Cali is the one for this. Even though I gotta say, even though the flavor on this is great, capital G, great flavor, capital G, great flavor. It's really good, no question. Totally good flavor on this thing. It is just a huge pain in the ass. I want to thank Naki for pointing out that I should take a second look at this thing under without the squonk pin, because he was right. It's you know, for 20 bucks it's okay. You can get one in the link below. It's okay without the squonk pin. with the regular RDA pin. In fact, you and I together right here, we're going to put the other pin back in this thing because, oh, do you see it just absolutely spew e-liquid just then? That's crazy. This is the last thing we're going to do for this review before we're finished is change this thing back out, because I might vape on it otherwise, but not this way. All we got to do is grab a special screwdriver. Big mistake. Big mistake, Vandy Vape. Big mistake. Special screwdriver. Then put in the other screw. And now we can vape on it without wearing this. Because I'll show you in this case what happens. I have to wipe this off, of course. In this case, what happens when you paint it on is it's okay. See, you can do that yourself. You're done. And only a little bit will get into the airflow. It's still leaky over time. But when you do it yourself, it's reasonable. And the A10 cap is fine. It's still just as as the first one. I like it. I prefer the custom one. The flavor is excellent. So stick around for the after show here. I'm calling this quits for the replay. You guys make sure you click on the like button and the subscribe button right down there. And I really appreciate it. This is Juicy Jones HQ. Follow me on Instagram. We're going to be at West Coast Vape Expo in July. Make sure you check that out, westcoastvapeexpo.com, and check out some of the other reviews we're doing. I love all you guys. Thank you.